everybody, I'm Christine the Mean, and I'm here today with vlog number 6 about Outliers Fantasy Clash. So, over the weekend, we made a pretty important decision. And that important decision is that I don't think we are going to be ready in September to run Outliers Fantasy Clash using only like a database and bots. We pretty much came to the conclusion that we're still going to need spreadsheets in September. So, why is that? Well, there just isn't enough time to fully develop and fully test the kind of database and bot solution as compared to the spreadsheets. So, there were a bunch of implications of making that decision. One of those implications is that because we had some problems last time, we really had to spend a bunch of time fixing the spreadsheets and making some improvements to those. So a lot of that happened over the weekend. It is not fun work when you're using a tool that you know is not the ideal tool for what you're trying to do, but you have to make it work. That is really not too much fun. But that happened over the weekend. The second implication here is that it is going to limit the number of conferences we can run. In August, I ran one conference, 16 team owners in one conference, and I think that number worked out just fine. But and I really want to run more conferences. I want there to be able to be more than 16 team owners. So in September, I'm worried about this because pretty much each conference is going to need a spreadsheet pilot. And that means if we're going to run 2 conferences in September, which I really, really want to do, I really want to run 2 conferences, that means I need to recruit a spreadsheet pilot. And the spreadsheet is complicated, and so I'm a little worried about that. Second thing, I want to do some extra things in September. I want to stream between the rounds. I want to add an active scoreboard. Both of those things, though, are going to require more of my attention during the event. So if we do them, then I probably need to add a second spreadsheet pilot, which again, I'm a little worried about because that spreadsheet is complicated. And because the functioning of it and the execution of it is critical to the event going well, I worry about it. So I'm worrying. Today I'm worrying. I'm also working on some fun things. So I had some stream overlays made. So if it becomes an option for me to stream between the rounds of the event, I have some overlays. We're ready to go. I'm thinking about things like emotes and hashtags that I know that we will need. Those are kind of fun to think about. Of course, I'm working on some less fun things. So I'm working on getting the active scoreboard working. I have had lots and lots and lots of iterations with a good friend who is doing some of the programming for it. Lots and lots of iterations. So I really, really appreciate his help with this. It is not easy work, and we've had a lot of iterations. So also making more plans for September. We are actually going to be able to have a player seeding or a player ranking as we go into the draft in September. We didn't have that in August. So at some point I'll get to put that together, and that's going to be fun. This week I am working on finalizing our rules for September. So because August did not go perfectly, you don't really want to make too many changes. So most of the rules are going to be the same, but I think we'll have a couple of modifications. One of them is when will a team owner be out? Last round in August, a team owner was out when they lost 3 players off their team in any round. But that meant that we actually lost, 4 or 5 team owners between the round of 64 and the round of 32. And it feels too early to me for somebody to go through the entire draft, to draft up a team, and then have only 1 round for your team to play before you're out seems early. As much as I like the idea that team owners get knocked out when they lose too many players, because it has this sense of doom about it that you actually have when you're playing the tournament, and I like that aspect, I think getting knocked out between 64 and 32 is too early, and so we might change that rule. And the second one, it has to do with what I'm going to call provisional roster transactions. So because we update the free agent list only after the main tournament bracket gets updated, that means many times team owners will know the outcome of a war before the free agent list gets updated with those results. And one of the potential rule changes would be whether or not you can make a transaction before the free agent list is updated. It kind of gets at this question of if a team owner is keeping track of their own data and has their own tools and gets in there faster, is that part of the game or is that not part of the game? And we have to make some decisions about whether they can put in what I want to call a provisional roster transaction before the free agent list is updated. I have to make some decisions about that this week. But those are the kinds of rule changes that I'm thinking about for September. We really need a pretty basic rule set to go smoothly and to have a good functioning event before we start getting into anything more complicated. So I'm about to close this, but I wanted to say there's something really gratifying that happened this week. I had a few team owners from August reach out to me and tell me how much fun they had in August and how much they are looking forward to doing it again in September. I've also had a couple of new people who weren't part of it in August find us somehow and reach out and say, hey, I really want to be part of this. So I know that what we had in August was far from perfect, but people had fun. And as we make it better, people will continue to have fun and maybe have more fun. And I'm going to keep working on this and keep making it so that more people can have more fun. That's the whole point, right? Anyway, that's where we're at this week on Outliers Fantasy Clash. This is Christine the Mean. Thank you for joining me, and we'll catch you next time. Signing off.